Here we go. I still haven't figured out if there's any kind of delay in the YouTube thing. I should just
There's not. I keep
play
telling
this
you there's
back.
not, and you keep not
I
listening
feel like
to
there's
me.
got to be some, right? At some point. I mean, I know there's a huge
The delay.
but
The delay comes from it doesn't. It
because
delays
there's such
starting the stream.
a huge delay. All right. Well,
Right,
hi,
so it
I'm
delays.
Eric.
I'm Joe.
The man with no delay is Joe. This is Genesis or Genesisn't making its triumphant return. I did like, I don't know, 56 of these. I'm an expert on Genesis games now, so now this is no longer theoretically me playing Genesis games to figure out if the Genesis is good or not. It's more like me laying down the definitive good or bad list of the best Genesis. I don't fuck whatever. Anyway, this is the Ooze. This is a Sega Technical Institute joint. This is actually one of the ones that Stieg Hedlund worked on, which I know he did one of their games before. And Stieg is the guy that one of the the head designers behind Diablo 2 and Diablo and StarCraft and a whole bunch of really cool games. So I'm sure this will be also a definite 100% banger classic, right?
Yeah. He also worked on Die Hard Arcade, which is great.
1995. This is pretty late in the Genesis era. What do you know about the Ooze, Joe? Have you ever played this game?
A long time ago. Smoke Monster says Genesis.
Okay.
Yeah, I played this a long time ago when it was new, and I remember thinking that it was cool and very unique, and it's one that I've honestly been meaning to go back to for a really long time and just never think of it. Like when I pull out my EverDrive or something, I'm never like, oh, I should play the Ooze. But every time someone mentions it, I'm like, yeah, I need to go play that again. So I don't know. Tell me if it still holds up, I guess.
All right. I see a bunch of DNA sequences. I don't really know what's going on in this game, other than
you play as an Ooze.
I play as Ooze, yeah.
Yes. It's kind of like the Blob, but like more sentient, because the Blob isn't really self-aware near as you can tell. The Blob just consumes and grows bigger. But the Ooze is like has some sense of self-awareness. I mean,
he has a face.
Yes. Yes, it has a face, so.
Nice stereo effects going on in the music here. Yeah.
It goes back to that thing.
Yellow and fast.
A whole bunch of times, you know, in the right hands, the Genesis
orange
makes really, really fantastic.
Oh, I'm red.
Sound.
I'm green again.
So it's been a while since we've done this, and I think we might have talked about it on a normal stream, but since we haven't done a Genesis-specific stream in a while, I do have to mention that someone recently did a no-death run of Streets of Rage 2 on the hardest difficulty. And it's the first time that has ever been done that anybody is aware of. So check that out if you're interested. It's a lot of spamming certain special moves kind of over and over again, but it's still really interesting to see like that this can be done. So that's some noteworthy Genesis news that I just wanted to throw out there. So
there's a button that just makes him laugh, I guess.
Hey man, there was a button to make you hug in Boy and His Blob for Wii, so there's no reason that you can't have a laughing button.
A laughing Ooze.
Ooze would be a totally different game.
That's what happened when he turned 15.
This is some of the best worst cover art in video game history.
I'm like picking. I need an instruction manual for this.
Let me take a look and see what I can find out.
That robot screamed in pain when I killed it.
Let's see here.
I don't have, like, there's no HUD. I don't know if I have a
You should love that.
Or, well, I mean, it'd be
That's
like
like your favorite thing is games with no HUD.
Well, no, I like games with really like minimalist HUDs that still convey to me the information that I need. But I'm not 100% sure. I guess the ooze gets smaller when I take hits.
Yeah, it gets smaller when you take damage and bigger when you pick up more ooze. Okay, let's see here. Do you want to know the story? Probably not.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Oh, okay.
Give me that ooze news.
Dr. Kane, research scientist, was becoming very suspicious of certain behind-the-scenes research at the corporation.
Okay.
After the plant shut down one evening, he decided to surf through the corporation's databases. By hacking into one after another of the classified documents, he discovered the awful truth.
Oh, no.
The corporation had been succeeding in developing a hybrid plague, a disease so dangerous and fast-spreading that it could wipe out humanity in just a few days. So it's the thing, basically, I guess. Only the corporation had the cure. They planned to unleash the pestilence in the water supplies around the globe, infecting the entire planet in a single blow. Then they would exert billions of dollars from world governments to supply the cure. I can't see anything going wrong with that plan. Suddenly, the office door burst open. Dr. Kane blanched under the swine-like gaze of the director, backed by two huge thugs. They knew he knew. In a flash, Kane realized he was a goner.
Oh, no.
The director barked on order, and the two leg breakers jumped on Kane, pinning him down. The director reached into his pockets and pulled out the most enormous syringe Kane had ever seen. Its contents glowed a serious green.
Oh,
this won't hurt a bit, hissed the director.
So is this like
to the doctor's arm? It's kind of like Darkman. You remember Darkman?
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like Darkman mixed with the Toxic Avenger.
Right.
Wonder if the ooze ever punches someone so hard their head comes out their butthole.
I mean, you can only hope, right? Kane had turned into toxic green slime. As a chilling terror coursed through his gooey being, he felt a strange power like the force of a tidal wave. They would pay for this. The corporation must be destroyed along with all its goons and mad scientists. The plague must be stopped. And the director, Kane, would save the best for him. When the screaming finally faded away, the corporation and the director would be nothing but a grease spot. And Kane would gain back his humanity no matter the cost. Just this once, the good guy is.
It was me, Ooze-zone. It was.
It was me all along. Yeah, when does the corporation become the corporate ministry? Halfway through the game, they become the corporate ministry. Okay, so the D-pad moves you. This guide is so great that the person who wrote it wrote in the controls for the emulator they were using on an Xbox 360 controller.
That's pretty goddamn good.
Yeah, so there is a punch button and a spit button and a pause menu.
Okay, so he's not just laughing, he's also punching there, I guess. There's a fist that comes out.
The ooze will die if he takes a direct shot to the head. Explore everything, hug every bush, wall, and obstacle from the north side. If you're lucky, you will get teleported to secret areas.
If you're lucky.
Well, let's hope we get lucky then.
So, there you go. That's the basic setup without going just into like a walkthrough and telling you exactly where to go. So.
Well, it seems like I believe from what I've seen is that a lot of this is kind of like it's like procedurally generated, the levels.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they're. The guide actually doesn't make it seem like it, because the guide seems to say.
Well, remember,
like,
this is somebody that wrote
it.
This is also written. This is a guide written by somebody who wrote down the controls for the Xbox controller emulator he was and his emulator he was using.
That's true. Fair enough.
I don't know. I keep.
So apparently the goal is to find DNA.
I'm taking hits from. I guess I don't know. Must be something in the environment is damaging me and lose. Or maybe if I don't collect ooze, maybe it ticks down or something. I'm not 100% sure.
I'm not certain about that.
And
Spitting
then once I get to a
might
certain
smaller
point,
too. If you use the spitting
maybe.
attack, that might make you
maybe.
smaller because you're using up your ooze.
That would make sense.
The death animation is pretty great though.
Mm-hmm.
Only one life to live.
Uh-oh.
Rhino Nar 14 says love Genesis or Genesisn't.
Shit.
Well, we're glad that you're glad it's back.
I think it might be those little posts. Maybe damaging me. See, like I think it ticks down over time. Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. This guide doesn't give the particulars of any of that stuff. And it's the only FAQ on GameFAQs, of course, because... Yeah.
It's not enough ooze. Slug monster. I'm in trouble. Is that one of your dogs barking?
That is...
Oh, okay.
She's not barking. She's having a very intense dream, apparently.
What about the ooze?
Yeah, she's having nightmares about the ooze. Alright.
What is the secret of the ooze? That's what I want to know.
You should rub some on your body and you'll find out.
That sounds dangerous. Hazardous, perhaps, even.
So last time there were those radioactive things. I found a thing that I touched that made them disappear.
What's that, like, weird beacon? It's flashing like orange and red.
That was the thing I thought I touched in the last level, but now it seems to just do damage to me.
Sky Reynolds says weird game late in the Genesis lifespan. Yep, both of those things are categorically true.
Okay. Well, I got one of the DNA things, but...
There you go. I wonder if this game has a part where someone, like, where a kid's head gets run over by a car and explodes like a ripe melon. Because, in fact, it is a ripe melon with a wig on it.
Yeah, see, those towers are definitely hurting me. I thought, like I said, I thought last time I was using them to make these barrels disappear, but I don't know how to get through here. I must be missing something.
Yeah, wasn't there another, like, tower thing that kind of looked like that?
Maybe it was
a little
different.
Yeah. If you go, like,
I died
up,
again.
kind of.
You lose. I'm really glad I lost, actually. I'm gonna take a screen cap of that. I need a new avatar. Holy shit, that was good. You didn't have notice if there were any cheats or anything for this, did you?
There's a stage select.
Hell yeah.
It's by the same guy who wrote the FAQ.
Yeah.
It's like input this code,
No.
maybe it will work.
X, Y, B,
No.
left trigger, right trigger,
Yeah, right.
guide button.
3 lines.
Yeah, I don't even know what the 3 lines button is.
Yeah, you have to do it from the main menu.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to boot this back up and see if this was different or if the levels were the same.
Sky Reynolds says that is one of the better game over screens. I don't know if it's like Ninja Gaiden Arcade good, but it's pretty good.
Oh man.
But yeah, you have to do the stage select has to be from the main.
Alright, it looks like the levels are the same, so maybe it would use some kind of proc gen in the design process and this was tweaked post, because I definitely read something about that while I was doing some research. I also tried to find the EGM reviews. Like I went to there's like an archive where they have a bunch of old issues of EGM, You can download the PDFs, and this was one of the tiny handful of the issues of EGM that was missing. It's the September 1995 issue. So hey, if anybody has that, you want to do the internet and the archive process a favor, might not be a bad idea to get in contact with the people that make that kind of stuff happen, and get that out there, because people like me need to read what people in 1995 had to say about the Ooze.
Yeah. Well,
GamePro gave it a 40 out of 100, according to MobyGames.com. Oozing with mediocrity, this game never delivers anything worthwhile or worth buying. The Ooze should crawl back into the sewer. And then there's probably a cartoon guy making a sad face.
Let's see here. September. Oh yeah, I'm looking at Retro Mags, and
yeah,
September 19th. There was a link to it when I searched for it, but it says missing.
Yep.
I actually, I definitely used to have this issue of EGM.
I might. I have a giant.
You would wonder if I
in my
still
attic,
do.
In my garage attic. I was thinking about getting that down and throwing those away.
Yeah.
Before I do that, I should look and see if there's any other. Like, I know all the Nintendo Powers are floating around out there, but
yeah, most of the EGMs are somewhere too.
Yeah, well, most of them are on that website.
Right. I know Cyril Lachelle, who runs the Defunct Games YouTube channel and website, has, like, in his personal collection, he has every issue of EGM. But I don't know. I don't think he's posted them anywhere. But anytime I've asked him for something, like there was been times I'm working on a video, and the easiest thing was just to be like, hey man, can you look and see like what so and so said about this game? And then he's always like, yeah, do you want like a scan of the review? And I'm like, yeah. So he's always been really good about that. Sky Reynolds says, what's the Ninja Gaiden arcade game over? Oh man, it's Ryu like tied down to a table with a bunch of monsters sitting around him while a circular saw lowers onto his chest. Like, if you haven't seen it, just Google it, or like look for it. I mentioned it in the Ninja Gaiden video, but like that video is like an hour long, so I don't remember exactly where that comes up in the conversation, but I definitely show it in that video, because you can't not, because it's like the best game over screen ever. It's also like terrifying, and it really makes you want to put another quarter in.
Gotta save Ryu.
Yeah.
Okay, I do see the difference between those two towers now that I'm looking. Anyway, did you still have that code? Should we take a look at a different level? File. Soft reset. I believe there's also a cutscene at the beginning of this, which we saw some of at the beginning, but we should let that cycle through real quick before we end this also.
Yeah, sure.
Alright, so what's the code?
Alright, so go to the main menu.
Okay.
And go to the options.
Alright.
And don't go to the sound test area, being careful not to change your default controller scheme.
Start. Whoop. Oh, here we go. I see it. There's a start options. There we go. Oh, wow. Oh, damn. This is real cool. The way that they have this options thing set up. It's like a little trough, and then you get to control the ooze. It's pretty good. Anyway, so what do? I go to the sound test area?
So go to the sound test, and then using the C button to play each of these tracks, play track 9.
And then... Okay, how much do I play?
And then go to track 19 and play track 19. And then go to track 10 and play track 10. And then go to track 24, play track 24. And then track 11.
Hold on, went too far. Too far. Alright, 24. I don't think this is going to work, because I think I may have accidentally played some other tracks in there. This is not the most precise, Nope. Alright, there's 11.
13. Six.
Hang on, 13. Whoop. All right, 6. What was the next one? 13?
Well, so it's 13, then 6.
Okay, then
27.
this is not going to work. Well, just because it's really difficult to get it precisely where you want it. Okay, 27.
Then back to 6.
All right. Oh, 8, 7, 6. Okay.
Then 88.
Fuck off.
I didn't make the code, man.
Yeah, but you maybe you are just making this up.
I'm not. I'm really not.
7, 60. 3, 7, 88. Okay.
Then 3.
Can I cycle just back around?
The next one's 41B.
127. What was it? 3?
Yes, 3.
Ugh. 2, 3, 4, 3. Okay.
Then 30. And if you did it correctly, you'll hear a sound effect that says yes.
Okay. I'm pretty sure I didn't do it right because I missed. Yeah, I didn't hear anything.
Do you want to try it again?
I mean, it's so imprecise that unless I'm supposed to.
I mean, I can. Do you want me to read them out to you or post it in the Discord chat? So
No,
you
it's
just
okay.
Yourself without me.
No, it's really hard to land it properly.
Yep.
Unless there's a way to like not play them and then play them or something.
I don't know. It just says press the C button after setting each one. So enter the following list of numbers and press the C button after setting each one.
All right, forget it. I'll just go play the first level again.
Okay.
Because I spent like 4 minutes trying to enter that code, but it's just like I said. Once you get them playing, it's kind of hard to, unless you're supposed to stop them somehow. But I wasn't sure exactly how I was supposed to do that. It's a cool looking menu, but it's maybe not the most practical. I think I can beat that second level now that I know the kind of a tower I'm looking for.
So what exactly is happening here anyway?
Well, I'm a scientist that found out about my company's evil plans, and so they turned me into Ooze.
Sounds like that was a bad move on their parts.
Well, yeah, now I'm probably more powerful than I was before, so I'm going to try and get revenge and also turn myself back into a human being. Which,
I don't know why you would.
Yeah, I probably think if it was up to me, I'd much rather be an Ooze.
Just be the Ooze, yeah. I mean,
I saw Toxic Avenger. It worked out okay for him. So.
Yeah, exactly.
So is this an original IP or is it based on some kind of comic or something?
Original IP from Sega of America.
Weird. Amazing that I never heard about it before.
This was made by, or one of the directors was Stieg Hedlund from Blizzard.
Okay.
This is one of his early joints. Like the guy that did Diablo and Diablo 2 and all that shit.
Huh.
StarCraft. Well, not did that. It's not accurate, but he was.
Yeah, Steve Diablo.
Yes.
Good old Steve Diablo.
Yes.
Okay, let's
I definitely like games where you get bigger as you collect things. I mean,
I thought it was a very satisfying mechanic.
Yeah, shout out to Katamari Damacy, obviously one of the greatest games of all time.
Right, as you mentioned in our PlayStation 2 draft last year.
Yeah, was that the first pick? Was that my
It was.
first pick? Or was that the
It
first
was
pick?
your first pick, yeah.
3 out of 4 of us, I think, would have chosen it as the best game for that system.
That's a great game.
It's a
Shout out
great
to
game, but
Donut County, which
It's
just
a
came out
pretty
this
good
year,
game.
where the hole keeps getting bigger as you go. That's also
Yeah, I haven't
pretty
played
damn
Donut
good
County,
game.
but it seems like it's cut from the same cloth as Katamari.
It is definitely inspired by Katamari. It's only like 2 hours long, and it's got a little more of a weird little story thing attached to it.
Yeah, it's more a game you play for the story and the humor. You know, it does have some okay mechanics, but it never develops itself the way Katamari does.
No. Well, I mean, there's like some really cool ideas there, but it just doesn't. You get like you like do things where you like collect fire and then you shoot fire out, or get a catapult that lets you fling a frog up that eats.
Or a chicken, right?
Stuff. Yeah, there's some really cool stuff in there, but it's definitely not. I'm not sure that it would have sustained for more than like 2 or 2.5 hours, but I still had a great time with it. Shout out to Mushroom 11, which is another really cool game where you get bigger as you go. That's more of like a puzzle platformer thing where you're like it's like side scrolling and you pick up fungus and your fungus gets bigger and then you kind of use it you can like break yourself into pieces and do balancing puzzles and stuff. That was a pretty dope game too.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah.
I streamed that a
I
little
never
bit at
actually
one
got
point.
to play it though.
Anyway, we're coming up on 27 minutes. I think I'll give the Ooze like a. Genesis is all right. It's not. I don't
Marginal
know.
Genesis.
Yeah, I don't know that I love it. I love the idea of it. I think that the level design maybe could use a little tweaking. The fact that you can die in one hit if you like just get headshotted kind of stinks.
I mean, you only are ahead, right? So
this has one.
You're an ooze, Mike. Have you not been paying attention?
This has one of the greatest game over screens of all time.
Yeah.
As you can see right there.
Not as good as Ninja Gaiden Arcade, but you know.
No, I mean I didn't say it was the greatest, but I said it was one of the greatest.
Yeah, for sure.
And also I'll assume that at some point somebody gets their head punched down through their butthole, and that's pretty good too. Anyway, that's the Ooze. We'll be back again sometime soon with something else, probably.
We'll be back very soon with something else.
It's just here's the cutscene file. OOZ Dr. D. Kane. We'll see what happens here. Also, the soundtrack is pretty dope too. I like the music. I wish I could have seen some more of the levels. Although I just assume they get more complicated.
Presumably.
From the first one there.
Man, archive.org doesn't have that issue of EGM either.
Huh? No, that's what I mean. Is I looked all over for it. I did try, but I couldn't find it.
Okay.
Maybe Mark Cerny will revisit this.
Yeah, there you go.
imagine this with the power of the PlayStation 5.
Imagine, yeah, if you could revisit, reuse that knack technology, but instead make it ooze. It'd be pretty
Which
damn
PlayStation was the one they had the commercial for with the like stuff that connects to your mind?
The 9.
good. PlayStation.
Shit.
Yeah,
We're
I
not
think
even,
that was a PlayStation.
we're not even
3,
halfway there.
Right?
I'm sorry, buddy.
That was PlayStation.
Just keep holding
3,
on.
I think. We'll get there at some point. PlayStation 3 can only interface with your refrigerator and your toaster.
How half-assed is that?
Anyway, bye-bye. Good night.
We're done here.
Move on.